Recording started.
Right. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. We're going to be finishing up something we started in season 1, where Sasha and I did an episode where we shared past videos of ourselves where we were not conscious of our social types and kind of looking back on it now and analyzing it from this new perspective. So, in this episode, Melanie and Magda are going to be looking back on some of their unconscious material. And then we're also going to get into an interesting discussion about the differences between 2s and 3s.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's baby me.
Literally everywhere. I think and this is probably another reason why people are just like, you're not INTP. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like you talking about the car. Oh, maybe it's like you're a car, maintaining a car. I'm just like, yeah. And then this, and we can just go back and forth and create worlds. It's just like, everyone I see, I want them to all come together in a room and be like, oh, I'm always figuring out how I can bring everybody in my life together and how it would work. It's just kind of like interacting with my environment and trying to bring everybody together type of thing. I feel like I'm so abstract, but does that make sense?
Well, you know what? Now that you mention it makes sense why you come across as very hippie-ish, because you do double activated NF play. Yeah. That is the prominent one. The anti-consume is definitely the first animal because you're always trying to figure things out. But the one that people can see, and it's obvious, play is usually what people see first because that's right in your face, right? So it's NF. So let me ask you a few questions when it comes to NF, and then you can break down the parts and see if you can relate to it. So first, because it's play, when it comes to the NF part of it, it's purpose and meaning. So do you feel like when you ping off other people, that's kind of what you're interested in when you're talking to someone else? When you talk to someone else, you're always trying to understand what they're working on, what their passion is, what their purpose is, what their mission is. Is that something that you try to get on people?
I'm super interested in what makes individuals individual. I take pleasure in that. It's really cool. And then ultimately how everybody connects to the big picture at large. So it's I learning about people and what they do and how they're different from me. And isn't that so crazy that we're all so different? That's crazy. But a lot of times it's finding that is to find out what connects us all and oh, we're so different, but what's the factor that makes us all connect or whatever. That's what's for acting is so awesome to me. It's the most different people can be in the world, but they have some connection over whatever it is that. I'm so fascinated with that. I don't know if that's anti-consume again, but because it feels I'm
it feels like it. You're definitely using that.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess I guess it's hard to answer the questions. Maybe it's because I'm not sensory, or I think it's ultimately comes down to sleep last. I'm just I don't know, I ended up here. What? I don't know.
I just love that clip because it's just very me. And everybody should take a shot for every time I say in that one. That clip to me had so many things. I'm writing it down over here, but I was on I feel like in a past episode I've talked about FE fakeness. That was that right there. I was like, yes, you're so brilliant. That's exactly what I do, even though I know that's not what I do. So that's a story for another day. But I see that Kendrick was using his TE understanding to sort of make sense of what I was saying. And that's fine. We all come from we're using what we have in our noggins. But to me, that said afterwards, sorry, there's people singing outside. It's super I don't know if we can say what day it is, but it's Super Bowl Sunday, and I feel like people are freaking out outside. So sorry if you hear that out there. But it said that sticks out to me about being number 2, because that really is what I was talking about, bringing everybody in my life together. That's always what I'm thinking about. That's always what I do to this day. I think that video was maybe 3 years ago or so. I literally just did that I graduated school, and there's a place that I wouldn't go to, but everyone else, I'm like, okay, they'll all want to go here. So I created this graduation event, with everybody else in my life in mind. So I do it constantly. To me, that shows number 2 behavior, because I'm I guess I should have found a way to say this a little bit better, but it's organizing the tribe and taking looking at the wider perspective with the tribe in mind always. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I definitely see the friends coin there.
Yeah.
Would you do that too, Julie, or is there a difference?
Yeah, I was actually just trying to parse that myself. Because
That's a good example of it.
Differently. You definitely said it differently than me. Agreed.
Okay.
But
Okay,
it did feel friends to me as well. But
Yeah,
I think there is you're watching, when you talked about big picture and people
So it's
relating to the big picture, that felt really 2 to me, like that, right?
Yeah. So it's I can't ever. So when I first was oh, what social type am I? I'm I'm definitely number 1 or 2, because I know that I'm always seeing everything around me. And it's not a control freak thing. It's just like Dave said it, I think, when he was on our show, maybe just or something. He said it in passing about I am going to sweep. If the janitor needs help, I am going to do that. I have to see every single everything, and then if it needs to be done, I stretch myself in a million pieces to take care of those things. So I can never forget anyone in my life. If I'm the jobs that I take, the events that I go to, my social life, I have to consider that everyone can do it. It's kind of my principle. So that's why I'm is this a number 2 thing? Is this my life has led me to this? Is this my purpose in life of I need everyone to be able to do it. So it's very egalitarian in that way. I think I'm using the right word, but
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When you say you in a job, you want everyone to be able to do it. Could you clarify? Just
yeah.
So I can
So
understand.
yes, I worked as a production manager in film for many years, and I it's funny because it's hard to access this info totally as a sleep last, because I still don't know what I'm doing. But I am leaving that behind to start a different job. I'm always kind of cryptic with this stuff, but it's because in film, this decider wistfulness about a lot of people are excluded. People are treated unfairly, depending on what department you're in, is when you are cared for on set. And that really started to weigh on me and really burn me out. So I started in this new job, or, we'll see, I've been on my 3rd interview for it, but it's that company is, I always say things very carefully, because I don't like to give out too much personal info.
Sure. Absolutely.
So apologies for that, because it's hard to follow for our censor friends. But it's now I feel better about working with a company that has affordability and accessibility in mind to everybody. So I always want everybody to feel like they're welcome in whatever it is that I'm doing in my life. And I'm always purposely seeking that out. So a way that kind of expresses itself as number 2, as number 2 as opposed to number 1, is I've been working on my goal of acting forever, ever since I could. And what's always kept me from reaching my goal, I feel is that I can't forget where I come from, or those around me, or those who are treated unfairly. I can't step on somebody to get to where I need to go. And you very much in this industry, like you kind of have to like flex so much, and I just can't, I like can never do it. So it's always been the struggle. So it's like I can't forget about, yeah, like, you know, in film sets, like I was a production assistant before I was a production manager. And like as a production assistant, you're changing garbages constantly. As a production manager, I have to oversee everyone on this set. Like I can't even tell you when I worked at this, like I always just try to keep like, yeah, like my personal, I keep like disclaimering, but like I can show you a video I made and I'm like the stuff I have to think about is insane. But like I still am like going and helping the PAs with the garbages because I can't not, like, and sometimes it's not good for me to do that. Like I have to move on at some point. And that's what's always been how I don't know, like knew that I was a number 2. But this video, I guess it showed how, first of all, friends coin, because when I was when I was talking to Kendrick or like everybody else's show at the time, they're always just like, but you're like, how could you be an INTP? And like to this day, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm friendly. I like have makeup on. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so that was a thing. Like with number 2s, like we really are like, we gotta be like taking care of everybody. Like I don't know if I feel like I'm just rambling. Does this make sense to anyone?
Yeah, no, I think a lot of it, exactly. You said like as soon as you said stretch yourself into a million pieces, it's like that is definitely a key difference from like me as a 4, because it's like I will rush in to like help people for sure with the friends coin always and get called to it, but I'm not like seeing the person over there who's behind 4 walls putting away garbage and running over to them necessarily. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like watching every moving part. It kind of tends to be like what's in front of me, and when I'm there then too, it's like I'm like, okay, well I'm going to stay here and we're going to make this better until you can do it. Like if I end up helping someone, I'm like, and we're gonna make this a lesson and I'm not leaving this, like, you know what I mean? But I'm not watching over there. It's like you need both. I'm like, I'm gonna hone in on this right here, maybe more, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna maybe stretch myself out more, but all the things will get done, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah, and it's the I don't know if I should just lay into our personality type friends, colleagues, whatever, kin. But I get like I know all, you know, we all talk every day. How, like, I guess triggered is the word I get when I hear people like kind of minimizing the like, fuck you, I don't know, like the burning building that the number 2s feel about everything. And I think that's what makes a number 2. It's like, yeah, we're friends, but what was it that there's a Felix and Holly's video, and Felix said something about like, we're always preaching to everybody. Number 2s are preaching to everybody to be responsible. And for me, I'm like, I'll bitch at you if you're on my team. Like if I'm your boss and you're on my team and you're like slowing the flow, like that's when I'll talk to you about that. But I like the friends coin, like I'll leave you behind, believe me. And that's where I get like number 1, like I'm like, I will leave you behind if you like we're not friends if you can't do your own DI. So that's where I see the responsibility. Like I still feel responsibility is the correct word, because I'm like, I'm going to get everything done. And so I guess like I'm skipping around a little bit, but like with Felix, I feel like Felix and Holly's video, they sort of minimized the like, the responsibility till we're worn out. Like, and if like, I don't care, I'm not going to preach to you to do your own thing. That's your DI. You need to handle your own responsibilities. I'll leave you behind. So that's the really forceful, like, responsibility / I mean, generalist doesn't touch the force of it. That's why I get kind of triggered when people say, when they're like, yeah, but this is the friendly version. Like it leaves out the ugly parts of the social types, which is very real. Like everybody has darkness and they have like what makes them good. But like responsibility, like I am going to think of everything. I'm going to do it. And like, if you can't do I'm not going to preach responsibility. You take care of that. If you don't, I will leave. See ya. Like, and that's like a number two, like, I can tell you this right now. Like, I can be like, hey, like, if you don't do your shit, like, I don't know, that's your fault. Like, you're going to have to deal with the consequences. But,
that's very TI lead talk.
Yes.
You know?
True.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
all did that too. But I
and
guess
that's hard where that crosses over, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I feel like, I don't know, like, that's why I guess it's like friends. Yes. Because I am always considering everyone. So I see that coin a lot. I have a lot of friends. Like I do. I make friends everywhere I go.
You do.
That is true. Like I can say it could be flex or not, but
you
that
and
is
Julie
the truth.
both, yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah.
Well, I think
but
your
it's
second coin really is the one you're like the best at, right? I feel like the second coin, kind of just like with our animals as well, in some ways, it's like I feel like the top coin we are good at, but it's like it gets a bit overdone, overworked. We're not as balanced with it. But the second coin, so for you, which would be friends, it's like since you can balance the friends and the flex, in my opinion, what I feel like I see is that you would actually in many ways be better about using the friends coin. Like I'm led around by the nose by it. It can be problems and have tidal waves and smack me in the face and stuff like that. But it's like more of a tool for you.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I haven't thought much about like the generalist / responsibility, the first one being like it. I guess it's like RTI. Like we're just like we don't even notice it. So I don't know if I think that the friends I have a better hold on. I think maybe I just don't think about it as much, I guess, because I'm just like, well, yeah, I got buddies. I know how to make buddies. I like to be FE. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it's not really something I'm thinking about, but like responsibility, I'm like, it's not that like I don't, and it's could be that I'm unconscious. Like maybe I'm bitching to you guys and everybody in my life all day, every day about doing better. Sure, maybe. But I feel like it's more of like the ugliness part of like, I don't give a shit. I'll leave you behind. Like, it's just like, I'm busy. If you can't keep up, then I will leave you behind. Like, so I try to not leave out the darkness in anything because we have to learn, but sometimes that works. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's far off the topic of that Kendrick video, but
Magda, you said you had some thoughts.
Yeah, just it's hard to jump into the conversation because I need to like think what and how I want to say it. So it's hard to say it. So yeah, I see the difference because I was processing my social as well, and the biggest difference I see that we are all OE and NE, and Melanie is doing so broad NE when I compare to myself. Like I am NEing all day long, but not on that broad spectrum as she is doing. So like I will focus on my project and I will NE inside that box, while Melanie will NE on every project there are, like everything there is. And for me it's like overwhelming, like how she see it, like how, like when you had the time to think about everything that is outside of that one box I have. So for me it's like always like, oh my, like mind blowing, like how you do it.
yeah,
So I can see it.
I think I've said to you guys that it feels like TE is yelling in my ear, like type of thing. Like I say weird shit like that, but it does feel like that because it's just like, I wish like this part of my life is moving into like, I need to be able to specialize. So I am moving into like, okay, let's look after the three model of like how they are doing things because I have to like in order to find fulfillment. That was something else in Holly and Felix's video about like twos. I don't remember how he said it. So I'm like shitty at pulling up references right now. But he mentioned something about like what a number two, like numbers twos not being necessarily goal oriented. And again, I'm sorry to them if I'm butchering it exactly, but he mentioned like that freedom is our biggest motivator. And while that is true, like I've had a goal since I was a kid, the same goal, and it still is the exact same goal. It's like
autonomy.
Well,
he said autonomy was the biggest goal of the two. Sorry.
Which is fine, but I do think my personal goal of having success in film acting did I just say Trump? Like it goes above that. Like that's just always been due north. My relationship, like everything comes second to it. Always has. So it's like, again, it's like I don't necessarily care about like if you don't do your own responsibilities. And also I'm not like 100% like, well, pull your bootstraps up. Like I understand people have lots of different circumstances that put them in a bad way, but I'm not necessarily, I'm like, okay, if you don't take your own responsibility, like you're not going to get to your goal. But I've always been goal oriented, goal driven, same goal from the start. So
can I, oh, sorry. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I guess just to what Magda's saying, every like the wide perspective has all been built towards one same goal. It's like every piece is just to like, so it's like TE because it's like maybe surface level on some things, but it's learning the whole picture to continue going up to my specialization that's never changed.
Okay. You're not responding to the autonomy part. I think he talked about stepping stones. Is that what you're responding to? Where he talked about like everything you do, the whole point is to go on to something else. He said,
yeah. He said that number two's main driver is autonomy, which yes, I am.
The stepping stones part, is that what?
I don't remember him saying stepping stones. I think I probably listened to that video. I watched it twice, but I think I took like, again, I'm looking at the wide picture of everything. So I was like, okay, so he said that he went from job to job maybe, but he found out that he wanted to be a teacher. And I don't want to harp too much on their own personal experience. I guess what he said that stuck out was that our main goal is autonomy and freedom, which is true. I consider myself an island. I don't want to need anybody.
Right.
But my goal,
yeah.
my specialization still is at the top. Whether or not I let myself focus enough or do the specialization, that's my problem. And that's something that I've been missing. You know what I mean? But it's always been the goal and then freedom.
I'm trying to see how that is in difference to being autonomous. That's what I don't understand. So why is having a specialization goal different to being autonomous? Maybe I'm just
So he said that twos do not have like I can't, that's what I like. I wish I had the video to recall to say the exact words because I don't want to butcher anybody's. But he said that threes are goal oriented. He said that threes have the thing that the passion basically that they are looking to fulfill, and twos do not.
I think he might not have said stepping stones.
I'm like, let's pause this because I was like, I watched that twice.
I think you're referencing, why don't we like go watch the video? I do think you're referencing, he said that like twos are always using whatever they're doing to go to something else next.
Kind of actually do want to look this up.
Let's pull it up. I can pull it up.
I think Holly's story is first, and I
yes, that's true.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And then the second one was Felix, and yeah, sure, like he wants to be free in terms of in previous jobs he felt like he couldn't do as much as he would like to, so that was like too tight. So I don't want to have that much freedom as he want to have. So he needs so much to be in control of his freedom, I guess, that he preferred to start his own business than rely on the boss, I guess. And I don't have it. I would like to say that when Holly said that her brain is not working the way she would see broader perspective, is exactly what I have. Like I really resonate with it, that I am still NE, double activated. I see things, but not that
Mhm.
broad, not that broad as Melanie, and that's it's like it's like my brain has some limitations, you know. It's like on that low level, like I cannot do as much broad as
Hey,
Melanie.
okay, I don't say low level. I don't like that.
Like the animalistic level,
Yes.
animalistic level, like what is more
What do you,
primal,
yeah, what do you mean by that?
primal level.
No, well, which part did you say low level?
She said low versus broad, but maybe you meant
Oh.
deep.
Detail.
Right?
No,
Because there's
low
the
versus
broad responsibility versus the deep responsibility.
Focus
Sasha.
versus broad?
Sasha, do you know the OSI model? When you have the application level and the physical level. Okay, it's from computer, so I thought that she
Oh
would.
yes, oh yes, I remember now. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So the lowest level is the physical level,
Mhm.
like the most basic, like so I was thinking about low level as the lowest level in terms of those layers in computer
Okay.
science, you know. Sorry. So
No,
that
that's okay.
that
So
level is
okay.
primal level, you know, like I on primal DNA level I cannot unlock my NE to be more broad, to be like Melanie. That's my point.
So,
Like
well,
this is like, you know, I cannot think like Melanie is thinking.
so
Like her NE is like whoosh.
on that note, like on that low, so I say twos are like low and mighty. So to use the word low again, where like I want to hear what Sasha has to say about using that. I don't think what threes are doing is any sense of low in any like negative way at all. But it felt really good when Holly said that because it was like it almost felt like um like therapeutic in a way because I was like, okay, this is the first time this is I don't know of how much I've consumed about like the three story versus the two story, but like when she said that and then she was like, I think my two or her boss wanted her to see the whole thing. I was like, okay, this is it actually was very therapeutic as a production manager where sometimes I did have clashes with threes and it was like she just explained that. It was like sometimes I needed you to be like you have to see how we're all in this hole and sometimes the three would be like not cooperative with that and I'd be like I just like please like please we have to get this whole train to the location, not just like it's not just yours. So that was really good to hear Holly talk about that. And I think twos are low in the way that we can't like we can't be up to where ones are. Like ones flex is important as a leader, but twos have to stay low. So I think low in a way that like low to the ground because we're keeping our eye like everywhere. So I see low in a positive light, I guess. But
Me too. Just I used low in terms of something so primal like DNA,
yeah,
you know, that low, like that's
focused into I feel it can
uh,
be.
like in cell level.
Yeah.
I don't feel low in any regard. maybe my flex is too. I'm just kind of like, no, that doesn't apply to me. And I feel like maybe like a lot of threes do, or a lot of people do, that we're outside of any sort of like hierarchy. Like that, I mean, I don't really even consider the socials to be a hierarchy. I don't consider ones to be better than me. I don't consider anyone to be better than anyone. I consider it to be people who are comfortable in life taking on certain roles.
Yes, can I complement this? Because
Yeah.
I had thoughts about what Sasha just said.
Yeah.
I was thinking today that when we have business people that own business, or presidents, like US presidents, we can have all social level, social class, no, social number of presidents, right? So one is the Trump, Obama, two is Biden, three I don't know, but four was Carter, I think. I don't know those
Yeah.
presidents, so sorry, I'm being
Yeah, Carter
ignorant.
was a 4, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the guy, so only name. And yeah, I'm ignorant. Like why I need to
Why
know
should you know?
such
Like, I
things.
mean, you know,
Exactly. Yeah. So so I was thinking that Jack Dorsey was CEO of Twitter, and he is 3, INTP 3. So being a social number, whatever, that doesn't mean you cannot be business owner, president of United States or whatever. Just it just says like how you will approach your business, like what you do. So you can be successful president and be a social 4. And it doesn't mean that, oh, you cannot be because you are ego last, you cannot be president, like you're supposed to be the one, right, on the top of the best country in the world, so you cannot be. And guess what, you can be, just you will approach this position in a 4 way, and that's it. It doesn't mean you cannot be anyone. So in that regard, Sasha, I like what you said. I think that that's the point, that there are no better or worse social types. It's just a different way of thinking, or of doing, of having the drive. So that's it. And when Dave and Shan said that we has this um, uh, hierarchy or something, and of course Biden is 2, and that's why he cannot be 1, and he will never do some good things because he's just a 2. He will self-sabotage himself, or something, and that's made me think that we do have like roles we cannot perform if we are not having some social. And now I think that's a bullshit. You can do everything,
Yeah.
but your approach will be different, and that's it. It's
yeah, and then it also helps you to, yeah, like if you're aware that you're a 3, like, oh, you know that there might be this void here, so then you'll take either extra care or you'll hire
exactly
somebody to help you see this point. Yeah, that's the
exactly
hill I die on. Like, that's always been typing in a nutshell for me. It's like, why do you care what type I am? I know, because I know that I'm gonna skib around and fucking flitter off and then like fuck everything I was trying to do. So I know I need to like stop and take care of my responsibilities or whatever. So
yeah. And
Do you think that having NE could make for like a bigger burning building thing going on here? Because
always wonder that, because I also know that I live in an extreme environment. Like, it's not even just the city, it's just like the show that I worked at is like ungodly, like the amount of responsibilities that I had to take on. So it's like you become like, I don't know, like, is there any superheroes who have actually gone to hell and then come back? Like, it's like, I don't, that sounds so fucking like out of control ego, but it's like, then like it's like if you've been through many bad breakups, like then you're going to be wary of people. It's just like I've been around the block, so like I could be in my personal circumstances, because I've been in like extreme work circumstances. I'm like overly, what's the word, like hyper vigilant, like stuff like that. So I'm always open to the idea of it being my own weird crazy work circumstances that made me like hyper, like overly whatever, I don't even know what the word is, but
yeah, hyper aware.
Yeah, and then just like, no, I know before you, I got it, like I'm thinking of this, like hyper.
I need something clarified. So Melanie, you could be somebody who is outside of this, but I still feel like this is something that is applicable to what role people do decide to take on. So say you decide to take on more of a role of a 2, and I really think that a 2 and 3s can cross over, just like you said. You have that focus of a goal, which is kind of similar to Specialize, which is also kind of similar to TI in a way, what you'd want to do. But so say, let's just clear that away and just focus on 1, 2, 3, 4. Say you have a 2, and the 2 is, broadly does, well, I'm going to help over here, I'm going to help over here, I'm going to help over here, and here. So you wouldn't and compare that to somebody who is focusing on one thing, being able to look at the details and of that one thing. And of course, this is just really ridiculous because nobody's just going to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to do every single thing in the entire building, so let's at all times, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of a crazy spectrum.
Yeah.
So what my comparison is, an analogy. I don't know if anyone's ever watched The Witcher.
No,
in The Witcher, they have mages, which are like, magical beings, and to learn magic, you have to sacrifice something in order to create the magic. And that's what they teach the beginning, Yennefer, when she is one of the main characters, is she's learning in a very painful process of becoming a mage, and learning this magic. You have to, so they sometimes use flowers, and they'll kill the flower in order to produce the magic. And so, but the better they get, the more they learn how to sacrifice other things, like, they take from the elements or whatever, they say in the. So there's always a give and take. So for example, if I'm focused on one thing, I am sacrificing all of the other things, but I'm making this one thing kind of amazing. If I'm doing it right, in a way, again, no one's going to do one thing, and it's not going to be amazing unless you're kind of looking at other things around it too. But whatever, regardless. And if you're doing all of the other things, then you're sacrificing something. You're sacrificing the complete. And I think that was why, the term completion was used, like making sure every little facet of that thing is done correctly. So right. So tell me what your philosophy is on that. Yeah.
Well, with that, so the thing is, I am not going to do, so I just always bring it back to the film set because that's my experience. Oh my God, these sounds outside. Can you hear that?
No, you have a good mic. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just distracting. Sorry. Freaking Annie brains. OE.
Go football. Let's get it out of the way.
The thing is, I'm thinking of, we're all here to get this thing done. So I'm not going to do we'll say on the film set, in my experience, in my, example, I'm not going to be the cameraman, but I hired the cameraman. So the cameraman I paid him to focus, but I'm looking at everything. So I'm not trying to I'm like overseeing everyone. I'm not trying to do what he does. I'm trying to like make sure we are all together, one big whole, that we're working together. I'm going to make sure they get the break when they need to go to lunch. I'm making sure they get paid correctly, but I also am making sure the electric department is, the actors, the hair and makeup, everybody. I'm not trying to do what they do. I'm not the actor, the hair and makeup department, the camera, like, no, that's impossible. So I am completing the whole thing. The specialist, oh my God, my flexing ass right now. I'm paying you to be here, to do that, to focus. So I'm paying you to be here and specialize. But like sometimes, so where I would get like, whatever, I'm not even going down that road because it would be like sometimes I would go, well, I don't understand sometimes when I'm going, I'm not trying to do what you do, but I am going, hey, can you let me load your gear into my camera truck so that we can have budget, so that you don't go overtime, so that I can also pay the hair and makeup department, like instead of hiring a completely different truck to carry your gear, like, can you please work with me? This is like a real life experience that I've experienced where one department would not work with me because they refused to see the bigger picture of like, if I can please load your gear into this truck, which we will be careful for. We have another production assistant who will make sure your gear is not messed up. then we can also, I have to think about that so that I have budget to then pay hair and makeup. Like, do you see how I want to be fair to everybody?
Did they give a reason though? That's what I'm curious.
So they're concerned about their gear, which I know that, and that's why I'm going, I know that you like that your gear needs to be protected. I know that you know more about your gear. I know that if you're suggesting that you want your own truck or whatever, but we're going to do every single thing that we can to make sure, because I have a small working knowledge from working on a film set and from talking to you with your specialization, and I want to compromise with you. You know what I mean?
They probably run into people who have said those words, but have disrespected.
Right. But that's why, it's fair, it's understandable, but
was there a signed agreement like that you would replace anything broken? Because that would be, I could feel that.
That's like standard if you talk to any production, especially in this show that I worked in, like that's standard, like of course, like, and that's why everybody has certificates of insurance. Like it's just like, but sometimes when it's kind of really frustrating sometimes with threes. And again, I don't want to go into this like whole, because it's
no, we can be shitty. No, go. Yeah.
Examples. I'm not going, oh, every three does this and doesn't think about, but like I have been with these myopic threes sometimes when I'm like, please, I need you to understand, like you took the job on a low budget project where we are going to care for your gear as much as humanly possible, but you have to work with me and compromise a little bit to not just go, sorry, that's your problem. And that's where like a number two is like, fuck me, I'm gonna have a heart attack, dude. Like,
well, I would hate to deal with that. Yeah, I would hate to deal with all of those things. I think I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind. I would be unhappy. Now, could I do it? I could do it. I would be miserable because we have the same functions. Yeah. But you're a different person with different experiences, but I can be in that management role. I think I would end up in a mental institution, but I'm such a bitch. and I know that when I'm not working on my own stuff, I get depressed. And I know that when I'm not focused on my specialist stuff, I get depressed. And I know that when even at my own work, if too many people ask me to do too many things, even though we have the same functions. And again, I appear like I'm a two. Everyone thinks I'm a two. They're always shocked when I'm like, I'm going home now. It's time for me to leave. So bye. And but I'm still going to do a damn good job, and I'm going to do a damn good job in all the things that I signed up for. And I'm going to get all of the things as right as possible. And I'm going to learn about all the, but the funny thing is about you, Melanie, is that I've noticed that you don't just, I have worked with twos that have made things worse just by coming around and saying, here, I'm going to fix this. You're not being fast enough, or this obviously needs to be cut. This needs to be cut. I need to do this. And now I have this huge mess. It's going to take me 3 times as long to do what I was going to do. Everybody is frustrated and sad. Now everybody's quitting. Everybody's calling in sick because they don't want to deal with the person who doesn't understand what our jobs are. Yeah. And you take your time to actually learn a lot of those people's jobs in depth.
I think that's probably like, I wrote in my notebook here, I still want to go to that Holly and Felix video because it was like something that stood out to me, that because I think it is that having a creative goal that I've always stroved to that I've always strived to like get to. I don't even know what is the damn word, but
is it driven? I don't know.
Whatever, I have to look it up.
That thing, like because of that, like I think it always makes me really conscious of like it's so funny, like when the grips are like electric department, like they're thinking that I like don't know about like their special gear. I'm like, bruh, like this is my life, like I care about this stuff too. Like
can I ask how long it would take them to get that gear replaced? Because if it is their livelihood, they could be waiting for a month for a new piece of equipment. What if they then that weekend are going on another shoot and they need that piece of equipment for the other job in order to pay their rent. Like I can't like you know what I mean?
Of course, I've got answers. You want to go?
Yeah, I want to know.
Their gear was rented. I rented they provided me a list of what they needed. We discussed it and we rented it from the gear rental house. That's how it happens everywhere. So if they have their own special equipment, we rent it for them. We give them a kit rental fee. They have a certificate of insurance on all of their gear. Like we rent it from them. They get paid to bring their own gear. And most of the time, a PA will pick it up personally beforehand, like, or they can bring it themselves. Like it's always cared for standard, but like I don't know, as a production manager, because I started from production assistant, like you can talk to me about it, but like mostly their gear is rented and like it's just part of the entire industry. So
it's interesting. I see the three in myself in that. We moved from California to here, and the movers were so like weird with me because there was so much stuff I put in my own car. There was so many things, and like once we got here, I was like, they did an awesome job. But you know, I didn't know they were gonna do an awesome job. So I guess
and it's understandable.
There.
And there are lots of people who wouldn't have, right? And it's Strove and Striven, both are correct.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Strove or strived.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Good to know. We have updated our understanding. So yeah, long story short, I understand them distrusting. I'm the most like wary person of all time because of like in just life, you know, like so we're all, but like also I probably like they know that they can in pre-production we can be like, okay, so can we have this gear delivered to the studio beforehand? Can we have a PA pick it up? Like that's pretty standard. So if they're very seriously worried about their gear, there's usually tons of ways around it. So, but like, there's just been some of those times where like, come on guys, like I'm just like, I just need a little bit. And then production gets a really bad reputation sometimes, like that, my particular department, because they're like, you don't care. And it's like, oh, but I do. But I also about hair and every other department. Like I also care deeply about every other department because we are getting this whole thing done. So, I do kind of want to look up the Holly thing, but like not even to come down on not specifically Holly, but like Holly and Felix's video. I feel like Felix mentioned something about wanting it to just be freedom driven or autonomy driven. And I think that I happen to be goal driven.
Okay, let's get the SI. I do want to check and see if Sasha and Magda would like to say anything first, but we will be going to that video. Do you guys want to add anything more onto that?
That's pretty much all I have to say about my whole video.
Yes, I would like to. I would like to share my story about how when I lead some projects and I have unpleasant, how you say in English, like this. No, when I have I have to work with people that don't want to do their work. So they are assigned to do some stuff that I happen to know how it looks like. So I have like I require from them to meet my standard, my lowest standard. I'm not responsible for this, but I know how it looks like. So I know what I require from them. And when they don't meet my standards, I'm pissed off. Like we have feature like project to do, and I am leading this project. I know what we need to do. It's and when it happens that I have people that don't do their job, I won't do work for them, although it happened I did, but I will make the pressure on them that we have a deadline. I will like micromanaging them, like here is the mail, here is the space with the information. I need you to give me some things you need to do at that date, if this date is feasible to you or not. Like I will try to be like pushy when I see that someone is like not responding to me or that fast as I will like those people to respond to me and so on. So I become bitchy sometimes. Yes, because I understand the weight of our project, and like I'm signing my name on it, so it has to be done. And when I have people that don't want to cooperate with me, I'm like the worst person to work with. So I require people to be as specialized as I am, in terms of being like caring for the quality, like having the time, having the work done the way that it should
Care
be,
for
as
the
per my
quality. Yes.
per my own view and so on. And
When you
if
say that,
person is not doing it because it's not specialized enough, and that person will be open about it, like, oh, I'm newbie here, I'm not really sure how to do it, I will guide that person how to do it and so on, because sometimes I know what to do, so I can help that person, and I will teach that person. I will spend hours to make that person being specialized. So when we will meet next time, I will know that that person should know enough, and I will require that quality from that person next time. So I'm not that bitchy for newbies when there is a reason that they are not being.
Right.
Yeah.
We're both like, yeah, we can get really bitchy as management. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but there are threes as well that don't want to do tasks that they don't want to do, because it happened because someone is on a sick leave and they just happen to do this and they don't want to do it, and I don't care. We have the project to do. So well, we if you don't want to do this project, I will be the bitchest bitch on the planet, because I don't care. We have to do it, and I don't want to babysit you. If that person is like not new one but old one, like I am, let's say, so I won't be like, I won't have the remorse to be that bitch. But if that person is genuinely like, I don't want to do it because I don't really know where to start, if that's the case, I totally understand. I will be the mother for that person. I will babysit you as long as it's needed. But if you are like the cocky, like you will just, I don't care, I don't do it, like fuck you, then I will be the worst nightmare you will meet. So that's the my point of view when we are talking about the project I'm leading. Like, I get there are threes that are pain in the ass. Sometimes it's justified, sometimes it's not. When it's not, and I am the judge, we won't be friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see the frustration that Melanie was talking about, the threes that.
I think threes also get frustrated with other threes that are inflexible, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And I learn, maybe it's because I have a double activated OE. I can be flexible in terms of like, we need to do something different this time, to have something faster. So like, ask that person this one, go to that one, and we will meet, and everything will be done sooner. So that's
because
fine
I think NE, with TINE, we're able to see and I think I've always appreciated a good two, really. I mean, I say that in a funny way, like, if you're a two and you actually care and you actually respect the threes and the fours and whatever, like, if you really are curious about how the stuff gets done, and don't completely just care about saving money, and that's your only thing that you care about, which I know that's not true about you, Melanie. I know that's not what you were saying, but I know that's a big part of things that threes don't want to look at. But if
You
you,
know,
I feel like twos are those types of twos that are very balanced with like looking at like the quality and the, you know, everything else that they have to look at, which is kind of like makes me very nervous to even think about the money stuff and all that stuff. But I find twos to be very comforting, the ones like that, like you. So.
I love that. But what to add to that, I always go, well, you chose to work here. Like when the threes don't want to look at the money, like they don't want to look at the truth of the matter. Like not always, again. And I keep like, I feel like bad to keep going the threes, but so it's like, so you go, the twos are the only ones, or like the twos who are only thinking of the money. It's like, but you're on the payroll. Like, so it's an ugly truth of like, you are on the two, like whether it's the two who's just going, well, the truth of the matter is we have this money that we have to like, it's not that I'm sticking up for like the crooked fucking greedy corporate assholes.
That's a hard line.
But like you work at that company, so you chose to work here. You know what I mean?
It's true, like but there are so many places that take advantage of that
100%
outlook, and they tell their workers that, and they're like, oh yeah, we know that this job generally takes 5 people and there are 2 here, but we expect you to get it done because we've got the bottom line. And then the quality sucks, and then mistakes are made, and then you know they lose people, and then they're able to hire people on at, you know, starting wage or whatever, and you see it all the time. And the company gets bad reviews, and everybody's frustrated, and everybody's like snapping at each other. And or you have a place that they still look at the bottom line, but they still really care so much about, you know, the worker and the quality and the home life balance, which is what 4s care a shit ton about. And I think secondarily 3s do. Would you say home life balance is incredibly important to you, Julie?
Yeah.
Home life work.
Some of the stuff that you said before that. Yeah, home life balance is definitely important. I don't want to work all the time. Like, do twos actually like to work 100% of the time? Like, does anybody actually?
Melanie, you seem like you're working.
Literally everything is to the goal. I guess that's why I keep being like, yo, let's check this video to see if I was like, if I had that understanding right. But like, regardless of what if they said that, Holly or Felix said that in their video or not, I think the goal informs how much I'm working. So like my goal is my creative goal. And like, I think it's more like TINE just wants to learn every goddamn thing about everything. So, you know, the double masculine, especially like I'm going to learn this industry inside and out, especially if you tell me I can't do something, I'll own that thing you told me you can't. So it's like, just always like that.
I'm less about the clock than my husband is, right? I can watch him, and he's definitely always been like, the clock is here, I'm out. And I know I'm less like that. Like I like to get the task done. When I worked at Home Depot, I was processing what you were saying. It was very interesting. And I was saying about Home Depot, like I worked in receiving at Home Depot, and we were supposed to have 6 people unload a truck. And we hardly ever had 6 people unloading the truck. And sometimes there were just 3 of us. And what is interesting was it was me, a 2. I think she was an ESFJ. I know she was a 2. Like whenever the 2s came out, I was like, Cassie was a 2. Yeah. And I think Kevin was a 1. And like we could unload the truck in 2 hours, just the 3 of us. Like we became just like this machine with how we would each work together. We got to know each other, and we got to do it. It wasn't good for us to be doing that all the time. And I never personally minded if I had to go overtime or what have you. And to get it done, because I could see how much everybody else, because I would focus on the people, how much the people after us do suffer. Like that was the thing. If the truck wasn't done, I was a night worker at one point. Like they were short. I never was a night worker, but I did it a couple times for them because they were short. And I saw how hard not having the truck done could be for them. So it's like, I kind of see all the pots, and I'm sorry, like you asked me, I was processing so much when you asked me. Like, I feel like my family is kind of a pot too, though. Like
We all
work-life balance you asked me about. I mean, it's never like I'm not ever doing anything I don't have goals in. Like my family, I'm also fairly goal oriented with them. I do have trouble, but like it's like relaxing can be my goal, if that makes sense. It's like, all right, we're gonna go out there and sit on the grass for an hour, and the goal will be to relax and have quality time together.
Wait, are you saying it like
Quality time? No, I'm just kidding. If you're not having quality time, get out. Get someone else. No, just kidding.
Wait, were you saying that? Why were you saying that as a question to like someone who's?
Yeah, Sasha asked me, and I'm sorry. That's my total sleep last.
I was kind of saying that a lot of people have I don't honestly know what the deal is. I will work extra. Like I said, I worked extra on Friday to help out my coworkers with an art gala, because I saw that they needed help. I actually offered to do way too much. But I feel like it's all still kind of 3 stuff, but it's stuff that I get excited about as an OE,
Yeah.
But there, I feel like, I don't know if the ones in the 2s, I'm still kind of wrapping my head around if this is real, really see that going home is incredibly important for the 3s and 4s. Like going home and resting, or going home and doing their own thing.
What do you say, Magda, too?
I don't like. For me, before I had a kid, I was the biggest workaholic in my company, because I was so absorbed by the quality of the work that I couldn't go home. Like it doesn't like what I would do at home. Like what empty hobby I have at home? My work. It is what I was living by, like where my passion was. So I wanted to spend as much time as I could grinding my what I was doing, like, and it paid off with being a specialist. Like
if
no one...
your actual work is your passion, that's a different, I think. Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
So my box was my work.
Mm-hmm.
And now when I have a kid, my box is my family. So I shifted that perspective from work. And to be honest, it was tough, but not really, because work started to be not paying off, like didn't giving me the good chemicals back. Like I was doing, like, how to say it, like I was overloading, but the paying off with the FE Jubilee, I guess, wasn't there. So no matter what I would do, it didn't matter to anyone. Like it was like, you did more, oh fine. You did less, oh fine. Like what? Like how? Like my work, my quality work was my signature, and now it doesn't matter. Then okay. So I had a like hate love relationship, I think, with my work, and I was trying to shift my perspective to focus on my family, but it wasn't easy, because I'm not that friendly to be around my family, to be goofy and have fun and relax, or whatever it is. It's alien to me. I don't understand quality time. Like I understand the concept, but the reality of it is like, what? Okay, I hope someone will do this for me, so please babysit me in those moments. Like I will wait for the savior that will do this for me, like having fun, it's the worst to do. Like relaxing, oh my God, please relax for me, and recharge my battery in instant second. Fine, I can go work or do my stuff, but relaxing myself, oh my God, like please
do this for me.
yeah. Yeah.
Aw.
So I prefer work than chemicals, you know.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it makes so much sense too, because like that's like your thing that drives you, that you're really caring about. And then you said like when your family became like the thing that's like driving you, that makes sense too. Like
Yeah.
when it switches.
Yeah.
Right. I guess what I mean is go home and do stuff. I guess I didn't mean like
The
yeah.
company is not your, it's like you're just
Mhm.
company. Like let's separate. That makes a lot of sense too.
Mhm.
Like in all the cases. But yeah, I'm trying to become more 3-like and be able to separate myself from like all these different fucking crazy things that I do.
And I'm trying to become more 2-like. Yeah.
Yeah, like I really am taking the model of the 3, because I do see, Sasha, what you're saying, the importance of like, let's unplug and go home, like time to like take a step back, because it's like, it really is good for mental health.
Yeah, because in the magic analogy,
Oh yeah.
if they didn't take from the elements, or if they didn't take from the flower or whatever, then if they didn't take from something and they did everything, like if they did the magic, then the magic would come from themselves and they would start to deteriorate.
Yeah, they're depleting themselves.
So maybe that's like, you have to like kind of take care of and just rest some.
Yeah, believe me, I've that's the lessons from the 3s that I've been learning lately.
Shall I put on the Felix and Holly video?
Sure.
Yeah.
Something I will say that I really like about the video, there's 2 things I like. One is I like how they have these bite-sized videos that I feel like I can give to my like friends who aren't into ops, because a lot of videos are a bit too information heavy for them, which is really great for the community. Maybe information heavy isn't the right word, but I feel like the way they do it, I can kind of show my friends, and it's a nice introduction into it. And it's good for me too. I mean, like I get from it too, and then I also like how it's interesting to see a 2 and a 3 in a relationship, and see how I felt a lot of appreciation from them in their growth through talking about this and learning about it. Yeah, and I thought that was really beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's say we generalize. For the generalist, a specific role, like being the technician or the marketer, isn't real. It's a means to an end. What they're really striving for is autonomy, independence, and freedom. And they want to have as much control about their life as humanly possible. For the number 2, this is really the main driver. And for the number 1, it comes second after wanting to be the best version of yourself. And since autonomy and independence are the main drivers, the number 2, or the generalist, needs to be proficient in as many areas as possible. Health, wealth, relationships, you name it, while they don't even have to excel in most of them. The point is, as the name says, they really don't care about any specific thing, but about the system as a whole. And that goes when it comes to their own life, but also companies, for example. Viewed from the outside, both of us, me and Holly, lead very similar lives.
So that's basically it. Just that thing, him saying that, like, he makes us seem like he's like, yeah, they don't really care. Like they just want to be independent. So they're like that. It's just simply that, like, that he made it seem like we don't have like a purpose that we're driving towards except for to be autonomous. So that was just like, it's just like, I think the goal is important, and it is to complete, like, while independence is very important, like, you know, if someone's like, this is how it works, I'm going to go, okay, let me find out if that's really true. So yeah, sure, that's like autonomy, but like it's for a goal purpose. So not to be like coming down on everything they said, but that was really just the part that I was talking about. So that's it.
You know, he's play last.
Yeah.
No, last.
Oh.
Last.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He said
that. That's right. Okay, right. Last. But still, he's consume, sleep, play then, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
well, I guess what's interesting is I feel like it's like you're a 2, and there's many different parts to it too.
Yeah.
And it's like some parts are stronger for you, and they may be stronger for you versus him.
Exactly.
Like he may be saying it from a sort of blast perspective. When I listened to him, I guess my TI, nothing to me felt wrong. It felt like he was perhaps leaning into like his experience of it.
The only thing that I would say is wrong is to put the video out as if it's fact. Like you said, you show it to your friends because it's more user friendly. And that's where I'm like, I prefer a raw take. I wouldn't tell people this is exactly what it is. That might be your experience as Felix, but it's not true. It's very not true for me. So I wouldn't want to spread that as true for everyone.
I take all information in as other people's experiences.
Yeah,
as being somewhat colored by their experience of it.
But you can be more balanced with that, which is great. And some people, but you're showing your friends, and then they're going to go, oh, this is what OPS is. And then it starts to become colored by their translation.
My friends are not lead TI. They're going to be like, oh, that's neat. And then, you know.
Move on, sure. But, like, but anything.
Julie just said everyone who's not lead TI is stupid.
No, I mean, right? It just, we take it and everything we're like, is this right or is this wrong? And
right.
then is this right or is this wrong?
Thinkers are like that. We could say, I mean, everybody, everybody does everything.
Not like that.
Everybody does everything. But like, also, like, I've become like such a like raw type of person because I'm being like trying, like, I've learned as I went on, people go, this is how it is in this industry, in this city, in this whatever. And then you go, oh, that is not true at all. And then like you can become hurt or traumatized or fucked up because you learn that's not true. Like I don't know.
I actually liked the video. And that's what I found was interesting. Julie kind of likes the video. Everything's backwards here. Julie.
I'm not a 2 or a 3. I guess I don't feel, you know what I mean? Like,
right. You're just like observing.
It's not as deep to me because it's not representing me. But
and it did seem more their experience. And it's interesting to compare and contrast because now we're kind of getting into the nitty gritty of, well, this is your, version of 2, and that's their version of 2 and version of whatever. And how tight are these numbers actually, that have been assigned to us. It's always good to challenge this.
And that's the other, like, it's the, maybe just to wrap up my video in the beginning, it's like, I feel like this is the responsibility coin, not that this is why it's responsibility, not general, because I feel a deep need to be like, you guys got to watch what you say, because what you're saying applies to you, not everyone. And so I am always thinking about everyone and how it applies to them, how it can apply to them. Kind of like in the beginning, I'm thinking of how everybody connects, how everybody comes back to the same room, like how we can all sit in a room together. And Holly and Felix's experience is not everyone. But like, I go, you guys got to be careful what you say, because this is not true for me at all. And responsibility till you're fucking dead, like, because you drove yourself into a heart attack, is what a 2 is doing. So I feel like, so when they go, did Dave and Shan mean that? It's like, maybe, because life can be ugly, like life can be brutal, and responsibility, because no one else will do it, is what a 2 is, what I do. I know that I do it. So to go, okay, it's generalized because we want to like be surfers all day and be free, like, it's a little irresponsible. So
I was thinking that you are describing responsibility tied with TI, because you want that to be like ultimate truth, let's say. But you may say something that is not true, like, for example, that only 1s or 2s can be entrepreneurs, right? Or they are meant to be, or something. But my revelation is that maybe not quite, because we have Jack Dorsey, for example, as a CEO of the Twitter, like former, and like 4 that is was president of United States. And this is quite a big position to be as a 4. So how it happened? It
Yeah, that would be
shouldn't.
like, yeah, I would never think that a 3 or 4 could never be an entrepreneur too. That's absolutely ridiculous. You literally just, if you have some voids, you find someone to fill them, or like you find a way to fill them. So yeah, it's, I would say that to anyone. Yeah, and it just like in this video, I guess and like just to be done with my section, my part, whatever. It's just like, yeah, I think it's you just have to be careful what you say, because everyone does everything. Everyone knows
Disclaimers.
they know their type and their social only to serve them on their hero's journey, or what if they decide.
Yes. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, whether they do or don't, it's theirs. And I guess so sometimes when people are like, well, yeah, this is what they do, it's like, no, that's not always true. So just be careful. But I feel like I turned this whole thing into like talking about how I agreed with them. But it is something that has come up a lot, where I've felt like, I feel like my experience is totally different. So I guess this is me being demon Effie and being like, this is me talking about it and being really weird.
It's also really hard to pick one word. Like in working on journey arcs, like I've had to pick one word for each step, right? And I've gone through so many iterations, and to be honest, I'm still like, I just literally changed one yesterday. And I'm like, man, I want to ship this. I want to put it out. And once I put it out, it will be so much harder to change a word. But like, I feel like when they changed it to generalize, I don't feel like they meant to get rid of the things that you connect with. I think they're just trying to pick a word. And that one of the nice things about generalize is there isn't that, like, there's two things. One, it's not confusing the fact that threes, like, because a lot of threes felt confusing when they would see those words and they'd be like, well, I am deeply responsible. So it was hard for a lot of threes to see that. So it felt to me like they were trying to deal with that. And then generalize, I feel like it does apply to one of the aspects of the two, and the aspect of the two that feels a bit opposite of that of the three. So I feel like that's what they were trying to do. And I feel like that it's hard to pick one word. And I feel like everything you're saying is very valid, but I feel like their change of word choice to me feels like it was the right thing to do for how the response was.
Yeah, they have to. It seems like much more of a binary coin, like Holly and Felix were saying too. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I guess like in the beginning, I just like remember like Dave and Shan speaking about the burning building feeling, and then yeah, that's all I'm gonna speak on with that, because that's the two aspect, and that's why I was just like, oh my god, a fucking term for like what I feel all the time. So I don't want to just let that die, because that has a lot to do with like, and it's such an intense feeling, intense part of me, that I don't want to, like, for those who are like me who feel the same, I don't want them to just have to fucking go away and like because generalize and specialize are much more like clean and presentable and like makes people feel better. It's like this ugly burning building feeling where you work yourself into the ground is real. So if you're out there and you're number 2 and you feel that, or if you're anybody who feels that, I feel you. Come talk to me. Like, because it's intense, and it's like we got to find a way. I'm getting upset. We got to find a way to balance, and like you turn to threes where they have been able to focus, and it's like, oh, there's like a map for me to like understand that like there's a way out of the burning building. So I guess that's like where I get like upset about it, is because like, don't let that just go away, be cleaned up, because it's easier to digest. Like,
yeah, I definitely don't think that that's getting taken away from them. I definitely see that as part of the twos. I definitely feel like not every aspect of those two was covered in the Felix and Holly video.
Well, yeah, not every aspect of either was. It was super short. Yeah, general. Yeah.
So I see what I see. I think I'm starting to see like what, and maybe that is even your two. It's like you have to see all the things at once. Like,
Yeah,
right?
it's hard. I just like I feel
Constructive.
irresponsible, and that's why I keep always bringing it back. I feel like it's not. Well, again, Ti is a crazy lady because she's like, don't let the truth go away. Like it's like let it be seen. Like so.
I mean, yeah, that's right. I mean, that's why I was like, no, I don't like this, blah blah blah. You know, I mean, we're both. I feel like we both feel that passion in different ways.
We're just looking. We just happen. I think that's what social types is. Like we just happen to be looking at different parts of like we're all one. Like here we go. Yeah, we can like end this part, but like it's just like everybody in one room, like the whole human race. Like we're all looking at different parts, so all are equally important.
Yeah. And I think we work really well together. If we can just, you know, get rid of honestly, if we can just get rid of the fucking greed, we would just work so well together. Come on. I mean, that's overly simplistic. That's way overly simplistic. I hate actually sentences like that, but it's, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, the social coins, what's interesting is we all have all 4 of them. Like every single person has all 4.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike TI, where we're TI and some people are FI, everyone has friends and flex and generalize and specialize.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a good point.
Thanks. Let's dance around the fire. Okay, I feel like we had a really good discussion on it. So let's sleep on it.
Sleep on it.
Sleep on it.